to Minnesota, land of very happy, friendly, accommodating people. We're loving it so far. A little background before we get into today's vlog. So we were in Minnesota for about 8 days, and that is including travel and everything. And it was supposed to be a business trip and then a pleasure trip after that, but we had quite the debacle getting here. I've never flown with children before. I never really desired to. I'm not one of those people that like wants to take my family to Europe or anything like that. Personally, I didn't fly till I was 18. I don't think that's just necessarily a Mennonite thing. I just think that's how it was. We lived on a farm. Where were we gonna go? We didn't have family out of state or anything anyway. Opportunity came up to work with Inherit Clothing Company. I have been working on something for you guys since January of 2022. So finally we're coming to the culmination of that. First we're gonna do like the vacation-y, hanging out with friends part. Then we'll do all of that. But anyway, flying with our kids. So we're gonna fly with our kids. We're gonna take them out to Minnesota. Inherit wanted to do a photo shoot including the whole family, not just me. And so, okay, we're gonna do it. I was very nervous. I talked to all my friends. All of them have flown with their children, like most of them. And they're like, oh my word, stop worrying, Megan. Like, it's gonna be fine. Well, I don't even know. I just wanna make this story really quick and short, but it's like pretty horrible. We get to the airport at 11 in the morning, BWI in Baltimore, and we board our flight on time like normal at 1 o'clock. The kids loved the airport. They hung out and just loved all the like the glass elevators and the moving walkways and everything. It was fun. So we get on the airplane and we wait and we wait and we wait, and finally they're like, we're waiting on a pilot. We didn't realize we were short a pilot. They need 2, I guess, on a certain size aircraft. And they said, we're waiting on a pilot, and we didn't realize it till we were already boarding you all. So just sit tight, we'll find somebody. So about 30 to 45 minutes later, we've been sitting on this plane the whole time. The kids were excited. They were, you know, we're gonna take off here, right? They finally found a pilot. They're like, yay, this is like one of the best pilots ever, which I'm sure they have to say that. And so there he is, we're gonna leave. But we're not moving. And they say the air traffic control is saying we're gonna wait out a storm that's coming through. Okay, my goodness, are we gonna get, like, this is crazy, my word. We're still sitting here and we're like mentally juggling in our head, okay, we're like an hour late now, so we're gonna get to our Airbnb at this time, and like trying to like calibrate things in our head, but the kids are doing great yet, so it's fine. Eventually they're like, okay, we're gonna taxi down to the runway and wait our turn to go out, because we've been sitting there for at least an hour and a half, but at this point it had been raining and whatever. So we drove down to the end of the runway. We were the 3rd airplane in line, and it just starts pouring. It was dumping, pouring, raining, like the whole plane was like doing this. Come to find out, the whole National Guard was called out. All of Baltimore, all of Washington, D.C., everything was shut down. Anyway, so there we are sitting on our airplane. Finally, after waiting forever, they say, okay, we're going back to the airport again. You know, everybody's groaning. Every time this guy opens his mouth to make an announcement, it's bad news, every time. And it's just like, thankfully we were on a flight with a bunch of Minnesotans who were super gracious, and it could have been a lot worse, I guess. So we pull up and there's no gangplank for us to go down, gangplank, walkway, whatever it is, the ramp. So they finally pull a ramp up another half an hour after that. At this point, we've been sitting in the airplane for 4 hours. Our flight was supposed to be 2.5 hours. Miller took a nap in there. It was pretty horrible, but let's not even go into it because, yeah, my claustrophobia was kicking in. The kids did better than me, I'll just say that. Anyway, so they're like, okay, get off the airplane, use the bathroom and stuff, and then we'll make sure you hang around close by so you can hear when your plane is going to be boarding again so we can take off. Okay, so at this point, we're like, we're going to get there at like midnight. Okay, we're trying to figure this out. Like, this is really, really rough. I can't believe this. Of course this is happening this one time we decide to travel with our children, right? So we get back into the airport, use the bathroom, and they tell us, oh, by the way, your plane is not leaving after all. You're gonna have to get a different plane. This plane is out of inspection or something. We're like, what? And the lady said you can't go back in and get your carry-ons. Excuse me? We were told just to get off the plane, use the restroom, and then we'll get back on. So our carry-ons are on the plane, and like everybody rushed the desk. Like, we need our stuff. Eventually, long story short, they let us, this is just like, I was so frazzled at this point. It was just one bad news after the other. I was praying like nonstop the whole time, and I feel like every prayer I said, God said, no. And it was just starting to feel like that. Like, I didn't even want to pray anymore. I was starting to feel very like, I mean, does that show my lack of faith? I don't know, but I definitely had an attitude about it. I was just like, no, please, I just want to get to Minnesota. This is supposed to be something I thought we were supposed to do. Anyway, we get our bags eventually off the plane, and they tell us to go to a new terminal, which, long story short, again, they made us switch to a second terminal, and then waiting at that terminal, our plane flight kept going up by 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, we go up again and again. Here, they have no plane. They're waiting for a plane for us. Now listen, this was a crazy storm, so like the whole airport was shut down. It wasn't just us, right? But all the other planes were taking off, 2 hours later than planned. We're still at the airport, 6 o'clock now in the evening. Our flight keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. Then we hear some rumor that there's a pilot coming in from Kansas City. His flight's gonna be in soon. He's gonna be our pilot. And we're just waiting on a plane now, but there's a plane coming in too. And it just keeps going up. Okay, now our flight's leaving at 9 o'clock at night. And now like it just keeps going up and up. It's just incredible. Over the loudspeaker they say, flight blah 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 65321A, whatever, to Minneapolis is canceled. Click. That was it. There it was. Our flight was canceled after 8.5 hours in an airport. They canceled our flight. I never felt that experience before, with children nonetheless. Oh my word. Miller had taken a little 45-minute nap on the airplane. He was about the end of his rope, but he was doing really good, all things considered. Like, he was giggling and hyper tired. Anyway, it was so discouraging. And like, you try to be upbeat for your kids, but you're like actually kind of scared. Like, I mean, I was like, what are we gonna do now? Anyway, I don't want to go into all the rigmarole that ensued in the next couple hours as we tried to find more flights, ran from terminal to terminal because we thought maybe we could get a flight that went down to Charlotte and then went from Charlotte up to Minneapolis, and then none of it worked. Every time, God just shut every single door. So I don't know why. I still don't have any answers why it was that way. We went home, we went to bed, we woke up the next day, we lived a normal Monday life. We were at home all day. And Josh was able to get our refund on our flights, and we found a flight going out yesterday at 11 o'clock with Sun Country. And yeah, we eventually got here. It was like that flight went off without a hitch. The weather was beautiful. The pilot showed up. What's crazy is that pilot, if he had not called off, we would have been in the air long before the storm. So I don't know. I keep thinking when they said that the airplane was like not going to take us. Remember I told you that they had to get us a new plane then eventually, and one of those crazy moments, I don't know, there's so many bad moments, but that was one of them. I'm like, maybe the plane would have, maybe something would have broke. I don't know. Maybe it would have been a really scary flight. I don't know. I just have to trust that God knows best, because he does. Whatever. First world problems. But when you're actually living in it, it feels so intense. It feels so intense. God just saying no, 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 no. Like everything you pray, it's like the exact opposite. And I'm like, God is not Santa Claus. I know that. So I don't know. It was a very stretching learning experience, and I will not forget it. I'm sorry you had to listen through this whole story, but I want to have it documented for my kids to remember it, because they are going to remember some of it. It was pretty crazy. But like I said, the best part of the whole thing was the kids. They did so well. Actually, when we flew yesterday, Miller was a wreck. I don't know why. Everything else went perfectly off without a hitch, but Miller was, the 1-year-old, very, very trying. But anyway, we are here in Minnesota, and let me catch you up with what we did so far in the last 24 hours. So last night we got in at our Airbnb, which is very cute, but very minimal, not very cozy and accommodating feeling. It feels very like, let's make it look cute for pictures, and then that's about it. It's clean and it's cute for the most part, certain angles, right? So we got here around, was it 5? The kids slept on the 2-hour drive from the airport up here to Duluth. We were in Duluth, Minnesota, beautiful lake town, like right by Lake Superior. So far it looks pretty industrial, but we did see some pretty sights, and we actually ate supper. We wanted seafood because our friends that are coming today are not huge seafood fans. So we found a place right by the water with a like walking bridge that like moves up so that barges can come through. It was so cool to see. As we were sitting there eating, the barges would just come through and they would honk their foghorns. I wish I would have got more of that on camera, but
Wait, look in front of them.
there it is. It did sound really cool. It was an awesome ambiance. We ate salmon and shrimp and walleye. I never had walleye before. It doesn't have a ton of flavor, honestly. They just cooked it really good. So with the breading and all the sauces and everything, it was delicious. Yeah, that's what we did. And then this little town had such a vibe. It's called the Silos. There was an old retired boat there and some silos and like this whole courtyard. I want to go back tonight because they said they're going to be doing music. We'll see, but it was a whole vibe. The kids are riding the little pedal cart things around, and Josh and I were shooting baskets. It was just really, really a fun time, and we had a really good day yesterday after we arrived in Minnesota. Oh my word, you did! Oh, he says, I'm gonna drill this shot and then we're going home. Okay. Braggadocious. So then today, Josh got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go golfing, and he woke me up, and it feels like 6 o'clock at home, and I could not fall back to sleep, and it was just a very early morning, but we're about to head out and go hiking, just our little family, before our friends from northern Minnesota, International Falls, actually come down for the evening, and we're gonna have 2 days together here. So the plan was to go to Jay Cook State Park. We had found it on the All Trails app and it looked like there was a lot of different places to hike. But in true vacation fashion, we got sidetracked by this beautiful view and came to the Stam through rocks. We even hung out with some of the locals and picked gooseberries. They tasted like a less flavorful blueberry, I would say. Then when we arrived at Jay Cook State Park, it was just breathtaking. We let the kids kind of lead the way and kind of explored at their pace.
Look at all that. Isn't that cool?
The weather was definitely a little bit overcast this day, but still really beautiful. And Josh had found a mini donut trailer and he wanted to stop in and talk shop with the guy since it's kind of what he does too now. And we had to sample some of his wares. And then the kids burned off some pre-nap time energy at the park. In the evening when our friends showed up, we went out by the water near Lake Superior for supper. And then we took them back to the silos because it is just one of my favorite places. I must go back. It was wonderful. The trains were going by and the music was playing. The children who had been friends for all of 5 minutes were hitting it off really well, and we just kind of hung out there. It had this wonderful small town vibe, crisp, cool air, and just, wow, I'm gonna savor this memory for a long time. Good morning. It's actually the next day. We had a very full and fun afternoon, evening yesterday after we did some exploring and got some lunch and everything. We actually ordered, I was so hungry for like Olive Garden salad, even though I hate doing chains when I'm on vacation. Anyway, Josh was like, yeah, we need something green after all the fried stuff and everything. So funny thing was, we're like, let's just take it back to the house. So I did takeout and I had no idea what I was ordering. It was 40 bucks and I'm like, oh, that's so expensive. It was the most ginormous salad you ever saw. 12 breadsticks that came free with the salad, and then 2 bowls of soup. So we had a very good hearty lunch. And then our friends came in the afternoon / evening and we went out for supper. It was good. We haven't really hit it out of the park yet with food, have we?
Oh, I don't know. It's a little hard to like flat out enjoy food when you have kids, you know, being rowdy. But
it's true, but we're gonna try again for breakfast this morning. And then I think later on, we actually have stuff in our fridge. We'll have lunch. We packed our own lunch for the day. We're just gonna leave the house and see what we see. Maybe this evening we'll get to see some northern lights. But anyway, it's so fun comparing their Minnesota life with our Lancaster County life. And while I feel like God probably intended us to live more the Minnesotan lifestyle, like, I don't know, that just probably seems healthier for your overall well-being, but no, that's not true. There's beauty in every lifestyle, you know, city life and country life and suburb life, whatever. But yeah, it's just so fun to see the difference. And like, I am a tried and true Lancaster County, and I really think I am. I don't think I could do it, like the socializing with only family and like seeing friends once in a great while. Like, I would love to temper our Lancaster County life down a little bit. But yeah, it got me thinking. I'm guessing a lot of you are more rural or like suburban, but I know some of you watch me from big cities, even like European cities and stuff. So if you want to leave in the comments, either the city you live in or like, say if you live in a town or the countryside, or I'm guessing none of you live in the wilderness or you wouldn't be on YouTube, but yeah, I think I would find that really fascinating. Grandma wanted to know how you guys like flying. What do you think?
Yeah, good.
Good? What do you think, Fletcher?
My ears were popping.
Your ears were popping?
Yeah, at the end it was like the worst part.
You didn't like the end. Did you like taking off?
I mean, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Probably in like the middle of the flight, I looked out my window and all I could see was white, and then I lay down on mom's lap to take it out, and then I saw a Southwest airplane fly right past my window.
Oh my word, yes, she was so delighted. We saw another airplane go past, and I didn't even see it, but she just so saw it, and it went zoom right past.
And Mom said that everything in the airplane, even the bubbles in my Sprite, are flying 600 miles per hour.
I think that blew her little mind that everything in the airplane was going 600 miles per hour. So anyway, I don't think they were too scarred. They're excited to fly again. So I don't know. Kids are resilient. You gotta love them. So after a delicious breakfast at Duluth Grill, we made our way to Enger Tower, which was very kid-friendly. It was not a hard climb at all. There was nice wide staircase steps, and it wasn't a super high tower, but it still gave us an amazing lookout over Lake Superior and downtown Duluth. We spent some time up here just looking around. One thing about Evonnie is that she loves a view, is what she calls it. She's always like, let's go see a view. So we started our day off here. I really enjoyed reading about the history of Enger Tower. This tower is dedicated to Crown Prince Olav and Princess Martha of Norway. And there on the grounds, there is a Zen garden that children, it was very calm and peaceful till our children showed up. Let's just say that. There's beautiful horticulture and flowers and all of that. They both fall down. And then we just continued the trend and went to Leif Erikson Park, which is known for all of its exotic roses. There's a train track that goes nearby, and it's just beautiful grounds and scenery. You can see over towards the pier from where we're at, and this was unplanned, which I love. I love that about vacation. You just don't know what you're gonna do. I honestly was thinking coming to Duluth, it was gonna be like a little sea town. I was thinking like Cape May, New Jersey, but you know, up north, I was picturing a boardwalk and walking around getting ice cream, playing in the sand, letting the kids play in the ocean/lake, you know, because Lake Superior might as well be an ocean, right? That is not at all what Duluth is like. There is pebble beaches and things like that, but it's definitely not like a sea town. And my friend had a good point. She's like, probably there's not enough length of the tourist season for them to really make it. You know, it's only warm a couple months out of the year. So that was eye-opening to me. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. But we all agreed this little moment here was the highlight of our trip in Duluth. It was just so beautiful, relaxing, calm, peaceful, and we were here for probably 2 hours, totally unplanned. We didn't even get our food out of the vehicle. We just went home to eat that. He's not even kicking and screaming.
No, I'm done.
No, what is it? Boat! What is it? There's no sea glass here, I guess. Going about 25 knots. No idea. That's a high knot.
See that accent yet?
So we put the kids down for their naps, and right on cue, the Blue Angel airplanes were practicing overhead. It was actually really cool, but so loud. I felt bad for them, and we brought them outside. But the minute we brought them outside so they could see the airplanes, they left, you know? There was an air show happening on Sunday, and sadly we had to miss that, but we got our own little personal air show this afternoon. And once the kids actually did go down for their naps, Bethany and I went to the Yellow Bite Coffee. We both got a vanilla iced latte, but mine was an espresso and hers was with cold brew, so that was fun to taste the difference. After that, we went to a park and then to downtown Duluth. We thought we would try out this Love Creamery, and this did not disappoint. I was very skeptical when I got there because I saw they had a lot of options that included non-dairy and like vegan and stuff, and I was like, oh dear, it's probably like, you know, cashew-based ice cream or something, but no, it was the most, honestly, I told Josh this is the best ice cream I have had that I can remember, which I know that's, you know, very, very subjective. I'm sure I've had better before, but highly recommend Love Creamery. It's definitely a treat and a splurge, but so good. And what a great way to cap off our trip here to Duluth. Okay, welcome to the second leg of our trip. This is gonna be a lot more of a happening segment, not as much scenery and stuff, a lot more action. Right now we're on the road. We have a 4-hour road trip west to the western end of Minnesota, almost in North Dakota, Morris it's called. Anyway, we just stopped in at Crumbl Cookie. The box is still warm yet. This is an entire dozen of Crumbl cookies. I was just like, Amy is being so nice and giving us their lake house. I couldn't show up empty-handed, but there's gonna be some for our family in here too, so.
Is that Butterfingers?
Yeah. Josh is getting excited. This is a cinnamon, we won't touch those, but I got a ton of chocolate chip ones. This is a key lime pie. We're gonna have to put it back in the Not a key lime pie, I'm sorry, lemon something.
Lemon.
Yeah.
meringue or something.
Anyway, so we have to rate these semi-sweet chocolate chunk cookies on a scale of 1 to Mennonite recipe. If you know, you know. It looks like there's salt on top. Yeah, we'll see. And I looked online, and apparently Crumbl's origins are with the LDS church. So we'll see what's better, the LDS cookies or the Mennonite cookies. These are gonna be good. It's warm. Like, how do you beat that?
They're better cold.
Here, Miller. No, they're warm. That's the best. Here, Miller.
I want one. I don't really feel like I want one yet.
Okay.
I don't really. Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's a 10. But there's a lot of chocolate chip cookies out there that are a 10.
8, 7.
Because it's warm. He doesn't like warm chocolate chip cookies. Like, what's his problem? Evonnie and Fletcher both turned down a cookie. Who are we raising here?
Mom, I don't really feel like I want one yet.
Okay.
I kind of want one after I eat all my healthy food.
After you eat your healthy food, you want one. Okay, then. They're pretty good, guys. Not gonna lie.
I have the love of Jesus in my heart.
Little children, only one children of the world.
Reach out and see what your thoughts were about
There's a
things
bell on
like
the wire.
yesterday. I wasn't around there at all, but
There was a bell in the
just
wire.
wanted to touch base with you.
Chip, no way. All they care about is ability. Can she pitch? Can she catch? Can she hit? That kid is without a doubt the finest little loser I have ever seen.
So I give him one of each color. I want one.
Just give him one for now.
I want one.
His children as they face their earthly toll.
Hello from the lake house. My goodness. So we arrived here around 5 o'clock, and Amy and her husband came up about 2 hours later, and we have had a grand time. First of all, their lake house is goals. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna give you a little tour here on screen. It's just, they built it in December and we're here now in July. So it's like brand new, so pretty right here along, I think it's Lake Pelican or Lake Trout maybe, I'm not sure. It's just beautiful. And we have been really enjoying our time. Once they got here, we actually went out on the pontoon. It's hilarious. We went out on the pontoon at like 8:30, which is when we're like trying to make sure our kids are in bed. They've been doing great and it stays light here forever. Like right now that I'm talking to you, it's 9:30 at night. So it is fully sunny, and this is what we're looking at with the forest fires here in Minnesota. It's crazy. It's like a pink hue. No clouds, but it looks hazy. And we are going on the pontoon tonight. I love it.
Let's go.
Are you guys cold? Hard left. Oh no, perfect.
Anyway, we are about to go upstairs and make woofums. I've never had them before, but we're gonna sit out by their beautiful campfire space, and yeah, we're just gonna sit out and talk, enjoy the last of the daylight, and make these woofums. I guess they're like biscuits that you fill with like desserty things, or you can make like pizza versions, whatever. I sound a little clogged up, don't I? Anyway, and then tomorrow, we're just gonna have more of a lake day. Sunday, you'll see what's going on then. And then Monday, I have to catch up with you guys as we do an entire, well, tomorrow night we're gonna do a photo shoot for Inherit, and then Monday as well, we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. So I'm really excited to show you all the clothing pieces I've been designing since January of 2022, I think it's been. Guys, it's such a process, but it's gonna be so fun. Anyway, let's go upstairs and have our woofums. Next time on Megan Fox Unlocked, evening is actually the night of one of our photo shoots. It just feels like a lot.
We passed Fletcher.
Oh, boy. Can you guys hold hands? Oh.
Oh, okay,
Nope,
he's
I'm
done.
out.
Okay, now I know I don't like it because you said you do. We never agree on coffee drink. Ah, I see the color scheme, yeah. Way more elegant. But look at those windows. Right out of the runway, storming, the whole plane was shaking. I love how we have a shirt that says Chasing Golden Hour because it's like kind of elusive and it's not there for long. It's like there just for a moment. And I feel like, especially as a mom, you know, you're always trying to soak up those special moments because they're so fleeting and they're like...
On this farm, we have and care for 11,000 cattle.
Oh my goodness, I have never seen the likes.
Oh, you gotta be nice.
It's sleepy, it's like a baby sleep. Okay, you heard it here first, so you gotta be on the lookout.